Welcome to the Core Maths induction video at Herts and Essex. In this video, we're going to give you an idea of what studying Core Maths means. We'll introduce your teachers. You will also hear from students who've already completed the course. We will then share the benefits of studying Core Maths and the topics you will study in Year 12 and 13. Finally, you'll get to sample a Core Maths lesson. This is the Core Maths teaching team. Mrs. Jones, Mr. Grant, Mrs. Appiah, and Mrs. Parapaeus. You usually have 2 teachers in Year 12 and 13. In the following segment, we've asked 3 of our students to share their experiences of studying Core Maths.
Hi, I'm Bella and I will be going to study at London College of Fashion next year. I've been at Herts and Essex ever since Year 7 and staying on at sixth form was the easiest decision. I chose to study Core Maths at Herts and Essex due to the other subjects I was taking. For A-level I took chemistry, psychology and textiles. By taking Core Maths it allowed me to maintain a high level of maths skill which was required in all of these subjects. For example, in psychology you look at distribution, which you also learn in depth in Core Maths, especially normal distribution. You learn a variety of skills within the course, many of which are very applicable to real life. One big thing you learn about is finance and taxation. This was my favourite thing to understand due to the real world application. When applying for my student loan and looking at pay slips from work, Core Maths enabled me to understand what was actually going on behind all of this. You have 4 Core Maths lessons a fortnight and you also do not receive any homework. This is perfect because it means that the subject doesn't overpower your key subjects, your other subjects, and enables maths to be a brilliant side component.
Hi, my name's Emily and I'm currently in my first year studying Fine Art and Design at Lancaster University. I took Core Maths at A-level because I wanted to continue doing maths just to keep it going, and also the content of the Core Maths course is useful maths, like it's stuff that you come across in day-to-day life and maths that you're going to need once you've left school. My favourite parts of the course were all the personal finance, which includes like student loans, income tax, national insurance, pensions, credit cards. All of that is really useful and I enjoyed it so much because I knew that it was stuff that I was gonna need. Student loan specifically is like really useful when you're looking at universities, making that important decision if you want to go to university. Having the knowledge about how the loans works is really helpful, and it's great for like knowing about budgeting. In terms of advice for the course, I would say use the practice papers and do as many of them as you can, because not only is it good for practicing the like methods and everything, but the way that you learn the content and then the way that it's examined, there's a little bit of a difference because the questions in Core Maths are so wordy, and being able to understand that and knowing how to break them down is really helpful, because then you can automatically look at a question and think, oh yeah, that's normal distribution, and it makes it a lot easier and quicker to get through the papers. So yeah, that's probably my biggest advice, but definitely Core Maths is such a good thing. You don't need to take it to have a complement a course, and I haven't used it so far in my course, but it's useful in just life, like, and if it helps your course then even better.
Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed and I'm currently studying chemistry, biology, physics and core maths and want to study medicine. When looking for the sixth form which would well equip me with the skills and support I would need throughout my application process, I decided that Herts and Essex was the place. Through core maths I was truly able to understand the use of maths within a realistic world and gain a perspective that everyone will require. And not everyone within sixth form, not even in A-level maths, learns personal finance and key problem-solving skills. These I like to describe as real-world maths, and especially data analysis and looking at different charts and how things are correlated and related to each other. I believe these skills will really aid me in the world of medicine. And the teachers are genuinely approachable people, and the lessons are well balanced, from discussions to just cracking on with work. My top advice would be listen to the teachers. They know this inside and out, they've been doing this for years, and if you do what they're saying, you'll be able to absolutely smash this course.
Thank you, Bella, Emily and Mohammed. So let's recap what's just been said. Core maths is important to keep your math skills current, and you will study important practical topics such as student loans, income tax, and national insurance, as well as looking at budgeting, buying a car and home. You will learn new skills to support your other subjects. As Bella mentioned, she found studying normal distribution extremely useful in her psychology studies. Our core math students go on to study a wide variety of subjects. Bella is studying fashion design, Mohammed has been accepted to study medicine, and Emily is studying fine art and design. We also have students who go on to university to study nursing, psychology, biology, geography, business studies, and IT. We also have students who decide not to go to university and take up high-level apprenticeships in business and accountancy firms. The skills you will gain and develop through the 2 years of studying core maths will help you better understand the world you live in, as well as understanding the important financial decisions you are going to make in the coming years. The course is designed to help you develop your critical analysis and problem-solving skills, which will be useful to you throughout your life, regardless of your career path. We also show you how to use data analysis skills developed at GCSE in a practical way, such as evaluating experimental data and analysing and drawing conclusions from data. You will be taught new skills in Year 12 and 13 to support high-level analysis, such as standard deviation, normal distribution, and lines of regression. We're going to take a look at the course overview for Year 12. We start the process by introducing some new ideas about data analysis, then consolidating our skills by applying these to an investigation into the world population. We then move on to personal finance, something many of our students enjoy. We look at how the government raises funds to run the country. We look at taxation, pensions, investigating the cost of borrowing, and comparing savings accounts. We investigate the cost of going to university, including student loans. You'll see a sample of this topic later. Finally, we investigate car loans and mortgages and look at how inflation statistics affect you. Throughout the data analysis and finance modules, we use Excel spreadsheets. At the end of Year 12, you will be able to use Excel confidently. Even if you are a confident user already, we will show you functions to help you increase your skill level. We also start to focus on problem solving, especially in the context of estimating, where there are many unknown variables. In Year 13, we introduce distribution, with particular emphasis on normal distribution. We show how this model can be used to estimate many real-world variables in health, medicine, and manufacturing. We also look in more depth at bivariate data. You will learn new skills to help you understand the correlations between data. You will also learn about data confidence and how we can express confidence intervals mathematically. For example, what range of values would you give a 95% confidence interval of the mean height of sixth form students? In Year 13, we also focus on critical analysis, developing skills to be able to critique reports mathematically, using skills developed over 2 years. I'm now going to hand over to Mrs. Jones, who's going to take you through a taster lesson on student finance.
Hi guys, so I'm Mrs. Jones and I'm going to talk you through a little bit of a taste lesson on core maths. So today we're going to be doing a little bit about student loans. Now this is a topic that we genuinely do teach in this subject, but we kind of like doing this as the taste lesson so that those of you that don't necessarily decide to take core maths in the end at least can take something away from it. So let's have a little look. Our student finance or your student loans are made up of two parts. One of those parts is your tuition fees and one of it is a maintenance loan. So your tuition fees depend on your university. Some are a little cheaper, some are a little more expensive. It depends on whereabouts in the country you are, what kind of course you're doing and things like that. Now your maintenance loan is all about your living costs. Okay, so tuition fees go completely to university, but your maintenance loan is for you and for your living. And this is based on what's called your household income, so what your parents or your carers earn. We'll have a look at this in a bit. So next, you will be charged interest on your loan from day one. As soon as it comes out, that is it, you're being charged interest. And we'll look at how that affects it over time in a minute. So when you come out of university, having borrowed all this money, you will then have to pay it back. But you will not have to pay anything until you start earning over £26,575 at the moment. So this is what's called a threshold. So you have to earn over a threshold to start paying back your student loan. So until you do that, you won't have to pay anything. But when you do go over that threshold, you will pay 9% on anything that's over that amount. Okay, so it's 0% all the way up to that point and then 9% on anything over. And you will only ever pay back based on what you earn. So whatever you owe, it doesn't matter. It will only be based on your wage as to what you pay back. And after 30 years, the debt is written off. So if you haven't started paying it, that's the whole lot written off. If you paid off half, then half of it gets paid off, and so on. Finally, the other thing to be aware of when you do look at going to university is that you could be entitled to what's called a grant or a bursary. And this is money that is actually given to you. It's not a loan. It's actually something that you then don't pay back. And of course, that can go towards your living costs, which can mean that you won't have as much to pay back afterwards. Right, so talking about our maintenance loan, our living costs, what could they be? So your first little task for today is to do a little bit of research. All you need to do is go onto Google, have a little Google. So select a university of your choice. So it might be that you've got a brother or a sister, somebody you know that's already gone to university. It might be that one of your parents maybe went to university. It might be that you don't know anybody that's gone to university, in which case pick a city that you know of. Pick a city that you think you might like. Okay, pick a city maybe you visited before and have a little look at what university is around. Once you've got a university, find their website, and on their website they will have halls of residence. Okay, I'd like to have a look for a hall of residence you quite like the look of and work out the cost of staying in that halls of residence for 40 weeks. So that's roughly a year's worth. Okay, so that's an academic year of a university. So how much is it going to cost? Before you do that, have a think to yourself, how much do you reckon it might cost you? Okay, rough estimate, how much do you expect it's going to cost? So once you do that, when you've done all of those calculations, worked out the cost of that 40-week stay, is it less or is it more or is it about what you thought? I'd love to hear what you found out. So pause the video, go and do a little research for me. Okay, so I'm hoping that you've done your little bit of research and we're ready to move on. So your maintenance loan, as we said, is based on your household income. So whatever, as I said, your parents or carers earn, the more they earn, the less you have to borrow, and the less they earn, the more you might have to borrow. Okay, in a minute we're going to do an example and we're going to use an average. You'll see sort of roughly in the middle is about £6,000. Okay, so while you're at university, as we said, it's made up of both your tuition fees and your maintenance loan. So your year one, you will have your tuition fees of about £9,000. This is fairly typical, £9,000 for tuition fees. Your maintenance loan, as we said, we're using an average of £6,000. So in the first year, you'll borrow around about £15,000, but they will charge you interest. Now we're using an interest of 4.6% in this example. Obviously the interest can go up or down, okay, it can change over time. So it's always being aware of what's happening. So to work out my 4.6%, I multiply my £15,000 by 0.046. Hopefully you're all happy with where I've got that from. If you're not, just think about 4.6% divided by 100 gives me my decimal. That gives me interest of £690, and therefore the total money owing at the moment is £15,690. So in year two, I borrow the same amount again. So I've got my 9,000 tuition fees and I've got my 6,000 maintenance loan, which is another £15,000 on top of what I already owe. So now I owe £30,690. But I haven't included my interest for this year yet. So let's do the same again. Multiply by to find your interest and add that on. That gives me £32,102. So that's only year 2. Year 3, same idea. If you think you know what you want to do, have a go. Pause the video and see if you can work it out. Okay, so for year 3, we've got same again, 9,000 tuition fees, 6,000 maintenance loan, and your total of £47,102. But that doesn't yet include our 3rd year of interest. So let's multiply it. And in total, I now owe £49,268. So in actual fact, I've borrowed £45,000, but I owe £49,268. Okay, so I obviously rounded up at one point. So that obviously is quite a lot more money that I owe, all due to the interest over the 3 years when I'm borrowing, and I clearly can't pay it back. But it is what it is. So remember, that's where you get to. But it doesn't matter how much you owe, it's only what you earn as to what helps us work out what we're going to pay back. Now, this is a simplified model, as it says there, because your maintenance loan would actually be split over the 3 terms. Okay, so you'd normally have, if you had, for example, £6,000 maintenance loan, you'd have roughly 2,000 in September, October time, 2,000 in January, and then 2,000 around Easter time for each of the terms. But we've simplified it to help us work it out. Now I just left this in, we do use spreadsheets in core maths, and we teach you how to obviously use them to work out things like that as well. You can see it's the same values. And then finally, on our student loan, when we leave university, as we've said, we need to repay. So the threshold per year is, as we've said, 26,575. But you do also need to be aware of how to work that out for per month and per week. So obviously per month, you divide that by 12, per week, divide by 52. So we pay 9% of anything over the threshold. How do we actually go about working out the monthly repayment? Well, first of all, we take away the threshold from whatever our salary is. That gives us the amount we're actually going to be using to pay. Whatever that is, we work out 9% of it. Divide it by 12 so that we can find the per month, because they like to take it per month rather than per year. And then finally, they like to round it down to the nearest pound. They don't want all these little pennies, they just want whole pounds. So let's do a little example. If I was earning 30,000 a year, I'd remove my threshold of 26,575, and that leaves me with my 3,425. Next, I work out my 9% of that remainder, which leaves me with £308.25. And then divide that by 12 to find my monthly. So £25.69. But as we've said, they don't want the pennies. So we round it down, leaving me with a payment of £25 per month. Okay, hopefully that's made sense. So if you want to have a little go, I'm going to go through another example, but if you want to have a go before I go through it, pause the video and off you go. Okay, so if I was earning 27,000, I would remove my 26,575. So that leaves me £425 per year left to pay a little bit of my student loan. So find my 9% of that, £38.25. Divide that by 12 to find my per month, and that's £3.19. So in actual fact, if I was earning 27,000, I'd only be paying £3 a month towards my student loan. Unfortunately, I don't think that would even be paying the interest, but that's something else that we can look at another time. So again, as I said, we do some spreadsheet work, and you can just see how it would change over time. Right, so here's a student loan question for you. So I've given you tuition fees, your maintenance loan. I've said that your course is 3 years long, so that's what we've done, because the majority of courses are 3 years long. And then you've got your interest rate exactly as what I've been using, my 4.6%. And once you graduate, you earn 32,000. So what I'd like you to do is have a go at working out the amount you owe by the end of the 3 years, the monthly amount you will be paying during the first year after graduation. Then, if you get a chance, have a go at the extension as well. So let's assume that after 5 years, you get a salary raise all the way up to 45,000. So what would your monthly student loan repayment be now? Okay, pause the video and have a go. Right, so hopefully you're now ready for answers. So the interest calculator for the course, so just as we did before, we've got a tuition fee and maintenance loan, which means we've actually got a total of 16,050. So your interest payment leaves you with that at the end of year 1. Year 2, you borrow the same amount, giving you a total of 32,838. Add your interest, bumps it up that little bit more. And year 3, same again, add it all on, work out your interest, and it should end up meaning that at the end of the 3 years, you owe £52,717. So we've borrowed 48,150. We owe 52,717. So part B, if you earn 32,000 per year, then obviously we'd take off the 26,575, work out our 9% of that, divide that by 12 to work out our monthly payment, and of course round down, leaving us with a payment of £40 per month. And finally, for those of you that got round to having a go at the extension, if in 5 years we were lucky enough to get that raised to 45,000 per year, same again, you simply take off your threshold, leaving you with quite a lot more left over. 9% of that, as you can see, is again quite a lot more. It's amazing how much of that difference does make. Per month, divide by 12, leaves me with £138.19. So rounding down to a whole pound is £138 per month. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I hope to meet you all very soon in September. Thanks very much.